A majority of Americans now approve of President Trump's handling of U.S. relations with North Korea. A new poll taken after the president's historic summit with Kim Jong Un shows the Republican president with the highest rating on any individual issue since his inauguration. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reports from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. The poll from the Associated Press NORC finds 55% of Americans back the president's diplomacy with North Korea. That's up from 42% in March. But Americans are still skeptical about whether the U.S. really can trust the communist nation's rogue leader.
I'm not saying things can't happen, things go wrong, mistakes are made, relationships get broken. But right now you are so safe.
President Trump tells his supporters there's more work ahead to ensure Kim Jong Un is serious about giving up his nuclear weapons program. A new poll shows most Americans approve of the president's diplomacy, but they don't trust Kim. The survey was conducted immediately after Trump's June 12th summit. There, North Korea agreed to work towards denuclearization in exchange for U.S. security guarantees. Defense Secretary James Mattis says there's no concrete evidence the North Koreans have done so.
Obviously, at the very front end of the process, the detailed negotiations have not begun. I wouldn't expect that at this point.
This week, Kim wrapped up a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. China, North Korea's biggest trading partner, encouraged Kim to participate in the summit. Olivia Enos traveled to Singapore during the meeting. She says despite the optimism, the U.S. shouldn't lose sight of Kim's record of human rights abuses.
An individual who has 80,000 to 120,000 people in prison camps, sometimes just for mere possession of a Bible, for watching a South Korean drama. This is an incredibly brutal man.
Enos hopes human rights and the persecution of Christians in particular will be a key issue in future negotiations. During his rally last night, President Trump said North Korea had returned some of the remains of 200 American troops missing from the Korean War, but there is no confirmation of the move from the military at this point. Some reports indicate North Korea is planning on handing over some of the service members' remains to the United Nations in South Korea, which will then eventually be transferred to Hawaii. Lauren?
We'll have an in-depth discussion about that coming up later in the program. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department. Thank you, Wyatt.